All right, shalom, monarchs. I want to make this video real quick on election night, surrounding a sign to look for after or during the administration of Donald Trump. And that sign is the fall of the International Space Station. As I have told you guys before in other videos, that Donald Trump is Esau, that he's Nebuchadnezzar, that he was Antiochus, that he's Cain. He was Cain in the Garden of Eden, and he represents the end of their world. So let's prove that by going to Second Ezra chapter 6, starting at verse 9. All right, and it says, "For Esau is the end of the world." Right? So Donald Trump is the sign of the end of the world. Whose world? The white man's world. The white man being in control of the world. All right, so for Esau, for Donald Trump, is the end of the world. King David, or Jacob, is the beginning of it that followeth, right? So we come after our world. Christ's world comes after. This is why you have not seen Christ at any time in their world. He has not been here. He hasn't come down. He's not doing anything. He has to wait until Jacob, or King David, or Jacob, aka King David, I should say, is sitting upon the throne. Now let's go to Genesis chapter 7 and let's read about when Jacob, or King David, got the blessing from Christ, and Esau, or Donald Trump, did not get that blessing. My people, do not be fooled by these empty promises from the left or the right. They are all a part of the same machine. It's just two different ways of how to handle doing one single thing. One side has one idea, the other side has another idea. So let's read real quick about Christ, who is Isaac, in this scene, in this incarnation. Christ, who ends up blessing Jacob, because it is said here, as you can see the stolen blessing. Jacob did not steal the blessing. He rightly purchased the blessing from Donald Trump. He rightly got the blessing. King David rightly got the blessing from him. He sold it to him. Okay? He didn't steal it. He stole it. He purchased the blessing from him. And that blessing led to Christ, included Christ. All right, so let's read here real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Let's just read enough. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 28. Chapter 27, verse 28. And it says, "Therefore, God give thee." All right, so this is Isaac speaking to Jacob, whom he believes is Esau. Okay, because Isaac couldn't see as he had gotten up in age, so he had to identify them through touch. Okay, so listen, it says, "Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine." All right, pay attention. Okay, this is why the power structure, the people that are behind Donald Trump, wants him in office. Okay, because he is the only one that, if they, in their minds, he is the only one, if anybody can purchase back or get back that birthright from King David, they believe Donald Trump is the one that can do it. Listen, I listen to what what he says to King David, and he says, "Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee." Okay? Let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. So King David is what? Lord over everyone. Okay? Except when The white man is in power. Donald Trump was given that blessing while they are in power. And we're going to hear that right from Isaac's mouth, right from Christ's mouth. All right, so let me read this again. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons, even you Israelites, because remember what Paul said, the Hebrew Israelites will not obtain what they are looking for. Isn't that what Paul said? That's what he said. The Hebrew Israelites will not obtain what they are looking for. That's a general population. The house of David is a specific family that is set up by the Heavenly Father to rule over all of Israel. Okay? So the elect, the sons, the offspring of King David when he was Jacob are the only ones that go into office, period. But even among the elect have got to pay homage to the house of David. All right, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesses thee. All right, that's powerful. All right, pay attention. Isaac, Christ goes on to say, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, blessing King David, right, which is his firstborn son, blessing King David, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Christ, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. And he also made savory meat, because Jacob made the meat and gave it to Christ, and he ate it and gave him the blessing and brought it unto his father and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Christ his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Donald Trump, thy firstborn Esau. And Christ trembled. And Christ trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me and brought it me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. When Donald Trump heard these words of Christ, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. See, Isaac trembled, Christ trembled, because he thought, because of the law, Esau was born first. But guess what? Heaven and earth will have to pass before one thing in the law is changed. Well, the birth of King David is like a new heaven. It's like a new structure, if you can understand what I'm saying. So not even Christ, as Isaac, understood what was going on. The Most High picks who he picks. Okay? And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. The Heavenly Father does not change. Right? And it says, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me. Now listen to what Christ says to Isaac. This is what you're experiencing now. Donald Trump could not just be an ordinary man because he is Esau, and he alone received this blessing among all of his people. That's why he's a billionaire, right? He doesn't have to be a trillionaire. It's enough that he had enough money to enjoy himself, that this blessing that came from Christ it passed to him in this generation. Listen, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. See, this is why y'all have to find King David, because he is the Lord over Donald Trump and all the rest of the white folks. White folks don't want you to understand this, but listen, right? So knowing that Isaac is Christ, let me put it in there for you. Right? And Christ answered and said unto Donald Trump, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. You see, the Hebrew Israelites are all going to have to serve King David. You're going to have to serve the church of King David, whether you like it or not. That's prophecy coming from Christ. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Right? Look at Donald Trump. Look at Trump Tower. Look at what's in Trump Tower. Look at how this man lives. He lives as the fattest cat that we have ever seen. And so that's a fulfillment. Trump Towers is a fulfillment of what Christ said as Isaac. And of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shall thou live, right? So this is why white people live through the military. They don't live through peace. They live through a military force. And this is what he's saying. And by the sword shall thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, right? When thou shalt have the dominion, right? Meaning when white people control the earth. When we came out of Europe, especially Spain, and white folks revolted against us when we were called the Moors. Moors just means black, that we were black people, right? When they revolted, they took the yoke off of their necks, right? And this is what Christ is saying, right? By the sword shall thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, right? So during that time, right, when our kingdom ended, it ended, for a good reference for many of you, it ended in Europe with the Moors, and the Moors ruling all of Europe. Everything that you see in Europe was built by the Moors. It was built by black people. But Christ, Yahushua, is saying to Esau, he's saying to Donald Trump, right, it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, when white people took the world. Okay, they had it control over Europe before then, right? But then they lost it and came underneath our yoke. And so he took that yoke off of them, right? This is what he says, that thou shalt break his yoke from off of thee. This is when black people went into slavery, and white people acted really fast to put us in bondage because that was their blessing to do it. You wonder why we were in slavery? Well, it's because we broke all of God's statutes and commandments, laws, and everything. We broke all of that. But also it's because of what Christ said to Esau. Okay? is what Christ said to Esau, that they would get the dominion, right? And then it goes on to say, and Esau hated King David because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Remember, when Ahaziah was born, how Herod acted. Herod could not stand that there would be another king upon the earth. And so he wanted to kill Ahaziah. Well, he feels the same way. Trump feels the same way about King David. Why do you think that this is now, I don't know how many election cycles that we have seen, and no major candidate has ever spoken about the works of the Hebrew Israelites? Don't you find that strange? Why don't they go to the Hebrew Israelites who are not selling drugs, who are not out here doing the things that the common Negro man is doing? Because they don't like you. They hate you. What does the scripture say? It says, and Esau, right? The spirit that's in white people comes from your father, right? And Esau hated King David because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother King David, right? And these words of Esau, and these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah. And she went and called King David, her youngest son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doeth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. You see? Purposing to kill thee. And so that's the work. That's what's coming. And you guys can't be so naive to think. I mean, when I see so many black folks supporting Trump, it's just the spirit of Ahawa making you support Trump, pushing you in that direction because of the blessing. And he should get the blessing, whether they say he's president or not. The power of this blessing from Christ as Isaac is not going to return void, is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to return void. All right, so now let's go here to Obadiah. Oh, no, let me go back to Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. This is speaking about Donald Trump. And I want you to notice here in verse 12, he is also called Lucifer, right? Lucifer meaning the highest man on the totem pole, right? He is the star of white people's heaven. This time that we have lived through has been their blessing that came from Christ when he was Isaac. Now listen to what this says here, because this is when Israel gets their bearing again. Let me go up to verse 1. I'm not going to read everything. Let me just read verse 1. And it says, where it says here, for Yahweh will have mercy upon King David and will yet choose Israel, right? Well, he will yet choose David again, right? It doesn't matter how well any Hebrew Israelite preaches. It doesn't matter how well they can break down the scriptures. It doesn't. He's not putting any of them on the throne of King David. I can assure you that. This is what he's saying. Okay? Let me read it again. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob. Why? He has already forgiven all of David's sins and will yet choose Israel, which is another name for Jacob, which is King David. He will choose David again. There's nothing for you to compete. You now, Hebrew Israelites, must come and assemble yourself underneath King David. Why? We just read it in Genesis chapter 27, right? Where it says here. Let me go back up and get it. because King David, see, now, hold on. Let me get that. Let me see if I can find it. I believe it's Genesis chapter 49. Because King David repeats what Ahavashai says to him as Isaac. Let me see if I can pull it up. He tells them what's going to befall them in the last days. Those of you who know the scriptures, you know where I'm going. Okay? It just hit me that they said the same thing. Christ and King David both said the same thing. I believe it's Genesis 49, but let's check. Let's see if this gets it. But you got to understand reincarnation to be able to take the veil off the words that are on the surface. It's the deeper understanding of what's in these words, right? So here it is again. Genesis 49, and it says, King David called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I might tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Well, he repeats what Christ said as Isaac. This is amazing. This is one for the record books. All right, so let me just go down to this about Judah. All right, Genesis 49 and 8, and it says, Judah, right? So King David's number one son is Judah. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. The Hebrew Israelites and the rest of the tribe are going to praise our tribe, okay? The rest of these Latin tribes are going to have to praise our tribe, right? Even the Hebrew Israelites. And thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemy. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee, right? So that goes hand in hand with what Ahavashai said as Isaac, right? Let me go back up and get it. All right, so here, you see, in 29, it says, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee, because you're not just going to bow down to Ahavashai. All these other knees are also going to bow down to King David, the house of David, and the tribe of Judah. And let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. So that means all the Hebrew Israelites need to be prostrating themselves to bow down to King David. They're going to have to bow down to David. And a lot of them are not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. It's not geared right now for them to do it. But they said the exact same thing. Let me read it again. Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. This is not about a religion. This is about power. The kingdom of God is not in words. It's not in any of these words. It's in power. These words are just instructing us how to get the power and how to take the power back from the enemy, right? And it says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brother shall praise. Thy hands shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Is Judah above King David? No, he is not. But he is the second ruler in the line of David, is Judah, right? And thy father's children shall bow down before thee. So y'all just not going to bow down to Christ. You're going to bow down to King David. You're also going to bow down to his son, Judah, right? And you're going to bow down to all the anointed kings of the house of David, right? Which Judah is one. All right, let me finish it out. Listen, pay attention. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion. And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? That's the Apostle Paul. Paul is the one that is the agitator that rouses the tribe of Judah or the house of David up to make the house of David get up off its butt and do what they are supposed to do. Listen, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, meaning that none of y'all can sit upon the throne of David except for the sons of David, the family of David, right? Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh comes. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be, right? And so you can gather now, or you're going to wait until Howard Shah comes. You're going to come before David. You're going to come before the throne of David. Why? Because Howard Shah himself will sit upon that throne. So let's go back to Obadiah. Let me read this again. For Ahava will have mercy upon King David, and will yet choose King David, and will yet choose King David, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of King David. Right? So this is when what you call in Christianity, these are the days of salvation that's recorded here. All right, but let's go down when it speaks about Donald Trump. All right, so when they fall, it's going to be the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth in saying, we're going to be like, damn, God did this. He took these people down. He brought them down. Everything. When you see the space station fall, and we're going to read it here in a minute. When you see the space station fall, near or during this man's administration, we don't know if these people are going to legally not declare Trump as president by Camilla not certifying the election or whatever slick moves they try to pull, because they've been pulling a lot of slick moves to keep this prophecy from coming to pass. And it's just like demons, like the Democrats are. They don't want the prophecy of the actual God, the God of Abraham, Christ, and King David to come to pass. They are fighting against the prophecy because they know that Donald Trump is the sign of the end of their world. He is the progenitor of all white people, is Donald Trump. And some of his own children hate him. They hate him. But some of them are pretending to hate him, but I think they actually like him. And they want him to get back up in it. And if they really knew that it was a fulfillment of prophecy, they would all vote for him. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedar of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fella is come up against us, right? So when they fall, Black people and Latino people are going to have security, right? Like we never had before. But check this out. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. So you're going to see the earth open up, and you're going to see the flames that produces, that come out, the lava and all that stuff. You're going to see all of that come up and rise up, right, to welcome these people. This is what's going to happen. This is why they're so terrified of the prophecy being fulfilled. If these people could go back in time and stop Trump's mother and father from conceiving him, they would do it. They would do it. And you can best believe me, given what's at stake, they have tried. All right. So you're going to see volcanoes go off. You're going to see lava. You're going to see the earthquakes happen. You're going to see the earth open up and flames, the flames of hell, the physical flames of hell upon the earth. Listen, from the hell, from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, right? So then it's not going to just take them to hell. Yahweh is going to lift hell up and have it come upon the earth so everybody can see what's about to go down. Listen, it stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So all of these people, Putin, Z, the president or the kings or president, whatever you guys want to call them, in Japan, in Thailand, Taiwan, I meant to say, all throughout Europe, all of these heads of state are all going to go into this situation. Okay, let me read it again. For hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth, right? All the chief ones, right? Obama is going into that hell. He's going into this hell. He's going to go into that fire, right? It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as us? See, what they want to say is that how come the judgment is not coming upon us? How come it's not coming upon all these other people in the world? And it's because we didn't go and we weren't controlling the world. Y'all was controlling the world. Black people do not control any nation upon the earth. We do not. All right. And then they go on to say, art thou become like unto us? Because they're going in that pit. And listen, thy pomp is brought down to the grave. All that glory Donald Trump had, all that glory, all that money that the Obamas took, that the Clintons took, that Jay-Z, Beyonce, it doesn't matter who, they were all with them. They're going to all get their judgment. And that pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. But listen to what they actually call Lucifer, right? Listen to what they call these people. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations, right? Made the nations poor, right? They made all the nations poor from the seat of America, from the throne of America, which is the presidency. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. All right, so this is talking about when they get that spirit during JFK's administration to go to the moon, to build a space station, to start that space program. That was the sign that these people are coming down. And it's not a coincidence that RFK is supporting Trump. Esau. He's supporting that because his family began this demise of white people when they didn't even know that the spirit of Yahweh was seeking to bring them down. They were just all fulfilling prophecy when they went up into outer space. Right, and it says, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms. Why? Because Elon Musk, they are going to move really fast to put that chip in your head, to put these robots online to keep y'all people in check. They're gonna make the whole world tremble. You're gonna feel so hopeless a few months into this man's administration. This is what they're fearing. Okay? Right? That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own nation or house, right? But they're going to be going into hell, but thou shalt be cast out of the grave, right? So when we get resurrected, we get new flesh, we get new everything, new blood, new everything, right? But them, when they come out the grave, they're going to be looking like them people on Thriller that came out the grave with Michael Jackson. That's what that song is talking about, this verse right here. A lot of y'all don't understand it. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain. So however Christ destroyed these people and they died from the hands of Christ, because Yahushua is actually going to sometimes, with some of them, he's going to kill them and then resurrect them and bring them back and kill them another way. He's going to resurrect them and bring them back. And so all of these wounds will never go away. Like if you take my thigh, for an example, my left thigh, when it's out of joint, and the spirit of Yahweh showed me the other day, he brought it to my attention because I wasn't even thinking about it, that same thing happened to Jacob, a.k.a. King David, when he wrestled with the angel. The angel put his joint, dislocated his joint. And I've had that problem my entire life. And so however these guys bang you out, it's going to be, that's just the way it's going to be on you forever. And I'm a living witness to that. My body, I can show you, right? That left thigh is out of joint, okay? It's out of joint. Thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden under foot. Now let's go back and prove to you. In Obadiah, right, so another name for Europeans or white folks in the Bible is Edom, as you see right here. What we just read about Lucifer is actually said again in Obadiah, speaking about Europeans. And this is why, like I said, the Democrats are freaking out. They are freaking out. And they are really trying to stop this truth from going out. They are trying to suppress what we say on this channel. And so don't look and look for the numbers. Look for the truth. Look for the understanding of the truth that you get on this channel, because the Church of King David is real. We just heard in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. Don't let any man deceive you, because a lot of brothers want to be as King David. They want to be at the top, right? But just like with the Apostle Paul, Paul did not sit on the 12 thrones of the Supreme Court in which Yahushua set up, which you call the disciples. And so a lot of these brothers are going to get that spirit on them, that they're going to really hate the fact that David does exist, because they want to operate over their brethren as they are David, but they're not David. Okay, now listen. It says, Yahweh will have mercy on King David and will yet choose King David. Right? Now it says Israel and set them in their own land. Right? But that applies to his children. The Israelites, the elect of the Israelites, are King David's chosen children, all 12 tribes. He produced all 12. Okay, so now let's go back to Obadiah. Let's read it. And it says, now this is their interpretation of what is said here. I believe in this very first verse, it's going to say that when it says that I have heard a rumor, it actually says I have heard a red rumor. And what color are the Republicans? Red. Okay. Let's see if they have that here, so I can prove that to you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Let's see. I don't know. I'm gonna take a chance and see. But it should say I heard a red rumor. I'm just trying to find that word. Let's see. Did this word? Because Esau is associated with the color red. Okay, so I'm not going to get it this time, but maybe in a future video, I will prove that to you. What it says there in Greek, it actually says, because see, sometimes when they print this out in Greek, they're not giving you all the words that are there. Let me see. Let me see if I can prove it. It's this way. Let me see. This is in Hebrew. Okay, let's see. Elohim Ahawa against Edom, right? Right here it should say red rumor. See if we can figure it out. All right, I have to find it in my notes. I apologize for that. All right, so the Most High wants me to go on. Let me click out of this. Let me go back to Obadiah. All right, so the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh Elohim concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise, ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. And again, we're looking for the space station in all of this language here, right? Thou that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, right? Skyscrapers, so forth, all the way up to the space station. The habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and as thy and as and though thou set thyself and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. You see? And so this is when they come down at the same time that Trump is taken down. Once they take Trump down, it's going to set a spiritual chain reaction into motion that is going to lead to the fall of the International Space Station. And that's when you're going to see the hell beneath open up to receive them. And you're going to see this in probably in your lifetime, because Trump is here now. He doesn't have long. He has but a short time to do whatever it is he wants to do, and the blessing is over. And so is the blessing over for all of his people. The party is over, right? The party is over. And that's what I want you brothers to take away when you see what happens with whatever schemes they try to do to keep him out of office. I believe that they're going to try to stop him from the election from being called for Trump tonight. Even if the election is called for Trump or not called for Trump, they're going to go into the courts. The states are going to fight against what the Democrats tried to do. And eventually, Trump will be announced as the president of the United States. There's also a scenario where Camilla may not certify the election as Pence did, but they're kind of backed into a corner. And that was kind of like checkmate for Trump and Pence to play that out, for Pence to act like he's not going to not certify the election. Well, the Democrats have backed themselves into a corner, because by Pence certifying the election, if Camilla does not want to do it, you're going to see civil unrest. So we got from tonight until they certify this election. And stay focused, stay vigilant, understand what I just tried to say to you, that this is about prophecy. This is not about an election. This is about the blessings that came from Christ as Isaac passing on down to Donald Trump, who was Esau at that time. We can clearly see that he has totally been blessed his whole entire life. But the spirit is on him. Like he said, he could go do anything. But the spirit of Yahweh is making sure that the blessing that was given by Christ to him is fulfilled. And that's all we're seeing. And after that, all hell is going to break loose. But with that, I say shalom, and we'll be back with another video. And thank you guys for supporting this channel. It totally means a lot, because we have to fight against this. We have to fight. If we don't fight together, then none of us become king. We have to put all of our differences aside and begin to function in the capacity in which the scriptures call us to function in. Y'all need King David. King David must reign. You must declare King David. And you should do it real soon. Should do it before this man comes out of office. That I can guarantee you. Because you're going to need leadership. You're going to need guidance. And you don't think that these people are not going to come up against you when they see the blessing that was given by Christ? You don't think that these people are not prepared to take everything you got away from you? I hear that they're taking property from black elders who have already paid off their homes for maybe $8 or 50-something dollars owing in taxes. That is not right. But they're coming for you even before any of this kicks off. And so you got to learn how to perceive this time and how to handle yourselves. Come underneath the Church of King David before it's too late.